This is the GTN show, and this week it is Run Week. So not only do we have loads of run content for you and loads of running stuff to chat about, we also have loads of news for you. We have more exciting pro signings and some grueling Zwift action from the weekend.
And we've also spotted something that I think is right up your street, Mark. This is around running, but it's running with the incentive of free beer.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it does sound a bit too good to be true, doesn't it? But it also got us thinking onto this week's discussion point of what is the point of running? Well, as I mentioned, we saw an offer last week that caught our eye, and more specifically Mark's eye, because it's combining running and beer.
Now, Heather, you're making it sound like I've got an issue here.
Well, I mean, at least running is with the beer.
Yeah, I do like it.
It does seem too good an offer to be true, but Strava have teamed up with New Balance, and they've opened this pub called the Run Away Pub in London on Charing Cross Road. And basically, all you have to do is run miles, log them, and exchange them for beer.
Yeah, it does sound really quite cool. So the idea is if you sign up to this challenge on Strava, you will be given a card, or it's the Runaway card, and you can add that to your wallet on your phone. And then as you rack miles up within Strava, then it will, rack up the points on this wallet that then you can redeem points for, which is really cool.
And there's 4 different challenges, and they're sort of running back to back. The first one's actually on right now. So this one, you've got to run 40 miles between when it started a week ago until the 3rd of March. That's the last chance to redeem it. But if you think 40 miles is too much, you can actually get a 50% voucher. And with a 50% voucher, I think you still get 2 beers for yourself and your friends. And then so that's obviously 20 miles. If you manage 40 miles, then you get 3 beers. Plus for friends. I mean, it seems kind of crazy, but the whole idea is it's based around spring marathon training and helping people to stay motivated, because the build up for London, so this carries on until the 21st of April, so the week before London, so I guess you're staying well hydrated.
Yeah, and actually the pub that they're using, the Runaway Pub, it looks really quite cool. Actually, I'm quite keen to make a trip to London and do this just to see the pub, because it's situated just above the gym, an S&C area, so you can do a bit of a workout, maybe even rack up some miles on the treadmill down there, and then pop up and collect your pint.
Yeah, exactly. If you're just a few miles short when you get there, you can just maybe jump on the treadmill, I don't know. But it has got us thinking on a serious note. Why do we run? What is the point in running?
I run because as a university student, it's a lot of stress, and I find it's certainly a way to let everything go.
For me, it's like a way to relax and clear my head, and then I love the nature, so I think that's why.
Well, I'm doing the Bath half. I mean, I signed up when I was a bit tipsy, but I mean, it's helped me I'm feeling a lot fitter now. I wouldn't have done what we've done today in the last month, so.
Just to get out, clear my head really. But it's nice to have a goal to work towards, otherwise I wouldn't have run as far today if I didn't have Bath half.
I like having a challenge where I need to grow and push myself mentally to be stronger, and meeting that challenge gives me a lot of joy, so that's why I run.
Well, Mark, why do you run?
Very good question, and I have got to say, the thing I love about running is the fact that it's just so simple. Like you need very little for it, and you can explore so much with it. I love it when you're out and about and you see a mountaintop or a hilltop, and you're like, I want to go there, and you can go there running. I just love that.
Do you ever think about the beer at the end?
Yes, sometimes. No, I do enjoy that. There is something really rewarding about running and being able to eat quite a lot and enjoy foods and not feel guilty about it. But I'm not sure if that's the reason I run. I just do enjoy that. I think purely for me, the reason I run is to feel good, the fitness factor. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm the same. I like the fact that it just makes you feel better from doing it. But I do also need a goal of some sort to get me out the door in the first place. And the feeling once I'm out there is worth it. But sometimes I need a goal. And at the moment, I'm doing an incredible amount of running, so I'm training for an ultra, and I know you're training for Norseman. So we both have goals which probably help motivate us, because we're doing more running with
You're
normally.
probably right, and I probably forget that I'm constantly training for an event, and I find that I do need to enter an event to get out the door and train, and I think I like that competitive side. We're both very competitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Olympic Games, I mean, you're going to be competitive, so yeah, I think that definitely does factor for us.
Yeah, I think it does, but it's got us wanting to know from you, what is the point in running in your mind? And that leads us on to this week's GTN poll.
Yep, and we have a few options for you. Is it to clear the mind?
Yeah, for that sort of mental break, just going out there. And I think, well, all of these factors count for, I think, for us. But
or is it to get fit, maybe just to increase your fitness, to lose weight, your cardiovascular health, etc.? Or is it to reach a certain goal? Is it perhaps even for the social aspect? Or if it's something completely different, then do select other, and you can enter that poll by clicking just up here. And now for last week's poll, we asked you, are triathletes jack of all trades, master of none?
Oh, it's quite a controversial topic, isn't it? And it's very sensitive, I think, us as triathletes. The GTN lot love to accuse us of being master of none, but I think it's just because they're jealous that they cannot swim or run.
Now, the results are quite interesting considering we are asking triathletes, or mostly triathletes out there, because in last place it was other with 6%. In second place it was no with 34%. But 60% of you said, yes, we are jack of all trades, master of none. But we had some really interesting comments coming through. So Edgardo Ray said, is there a triathlete that consistently wins elite level marathons, Olympic swims or tour stages? For example, the fastest bike like Kona, Cameron Worth was nowhere near the top of pro cycling time trialists. Very good point, but you've got to remember, as someone else did say just here, Justin does triathlon, said, I wonder what he could do if he wasn't holding back for the run out of curiosity. So yeah, good point. And I do, there are actually athletes out there that have got stuck into these elite level races. Alistair Brownlee for one. Nicola Spirig, as someone else mentioned, said 2012 Olympic champion, ran for Switzerland in the marathon at the European Championships. In fairness, she came fairly far down in the field, but the fact she was there is pretty big feat.
Then we've also got Zach Radke saying, jack of all trades, which equals a master of triathlon. I like that one, Zach.
I do like that one. And Christian Andrade said, Heather must be a master of all trades, being a pentathlon Olympic medalist and European triathlon champion.
Well, I had to go to 5 sports to be able to get an Olympic medal, so I would say that's kind of spreading my skills there. But
and a last one, quite a fun one. Zero Series MMX said, jack of all trades, master of pain. I think that's probably fair with us triathletes.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Well, leading on from that comment after the poll, talking about pain in triathlon and the resilience that we have, Danny Jakobsen has demonstrated this pretty well. He broke his leg in a car accident a couple of years ago, and then actually had the offer to receive this groundbreaking treatment where the surgeons take fat cells from his body and they regrew part of his tibia, which he basically just kind of smashed, so there was a big chunk of his tibia missing. They regrew it, they managed to plant it back in. I think it's like groundbreaking technology over in Israel. And then, just over a year after the surgery, he completed the Ironman triathlon just recently.
And that is some test of the surgery. That is incredible.
I think the surgeon must be pretty chuffed with that, and so must Danny himself, I think.
That absolutely blows my mind, absolutely incredible. Well, also this weekend we had Lucy Charles competing in the British Cycling E-Championships. Now, actually backtrack a little bit because this is quite interesting. Lucy Charles last year, she teased us with a video where she mentioned about sights set on the Olympic Games. Well, for her to actually do the Olympic Games, she would have to be involved in some of the qualifying events for British Triathlon very soon. And she doesn't seem to have appeared on those start lists, and she actually announced last week that her sights are still set on Kona. Until she gets that win there, she will not be moving on to the Olympics. So maybe Paris in the near future, but this road race, or virtual road race on Zwift, was perhaps kind of a step towards that, because she's getting involved in these packs, and she did seem to do quite well from the videos we saw on social media, but didn't seem to qualify through to the finals. So
yeah, I think a few tactics, even for e-racing, there's still some tactics involved, isn't there? Definitely.
It's still very exciting racing. But also on that front, we had Lionel Sanders getting involved in the Canadian E-Championships on Zwift. Now, he was actually joined by some other triathletes, and amazingly, Frank Sabara came 8th, Lionel Sanders came 20th, and Jackson Laundrie came 46th out of 443 participants in the male race. And actually, Lionel Sanders did say that he ended up in a 30+ man pack into a sprint finish. Safe to say, I don't have a career in sprinting.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Lionel going to ITU anytime soon, are we, somehow?
Got some incredible power, but the top end stuff maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But staying with e-sports and running this time. You and Fraser got involved in the Zwift Run Festival, I gather, on the weekend.
We did. So the Watopia Festivals we mentioned in last week's show was going on this weekend. We had 5Ks and the half marathons, numerous times that you could choose from. So Fraser and myself got stuck into the one on Sunday. Actually, unfortunately, Fraser had issues with his Wi-Fi. So if you were expecting to see him there and say hi to him, he was stood there waiting to get on and he couldn't get his Wi-Fi to work, sadly. So that was down to his own technical issues, not Zwift's.
Fraser's own issues. We'll move on from that.
But no, I did get involved, and actually it was great fun. It's actually, believe it or not, the first event I've ever done on Zwift, despite using Zwift for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've never actually got involved in any of them, and I had a great time. And
did you manage to stay with, because I gather like the paces were all, for you, fairly sociable pace.
They were meant to be.
Did the pace get up slightly? You know, we know how competitive
I
you
was
are.
very good. I was very good, actually. So it was going to be 12.5 to 13.5k an hour, and people went flying off from the start. I let them go, and I stuck with everyone else, and then I did maybe reel. And then
I bet you did.
So great fun. Had a good time on that.
Great. We've got news from the Bahrain Endurance 13 team. They have actually been missing number 13, and we know there were talks with Christian Blumenfeld. We saw him racing out there and chatting to the team quite a lot, but it seems that an agreement wasn't reached. But that's good news for Great Britain's Vicky Holland, because she has just been announced as a new member to the team.
Yeah, and very well earned. She's had an incredible season. So yeah, she is now the 13th member for the Bahrain Endurance team. But now moving away from that and on to some more sedentary kind of triathlon, I guess you could say, because we have the lazy triathlon.
Yes, it's the lazy Ironman. I love the sound of this. It's 31 days in which you get a chance to take part in this Ironman. This is over in America. It is where the Parks and Recs, so Winchester Clark County Parks, have basically put on this event to try and encourage people to get fit, to get motivated and get out the door. And you basically have to log, you've got to do the 3.8k, isn't it? Yes, I should know this by now. 3.8k of swimming, but you don't even have to do it all as swimming. You could even row it if you're not a swimmer. You could even aqua jog it or aqua walk it. So, I mean, that's really open for everyone.
And you have 31 days to do that with it.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise aqua jogging 3.8k could take...
And obviously the same for cycling. You can do it indoors, outdoors. You can do it, I don't know, just as long as you like, as slow as you like, and the same for the running. It could be walking. So I think this is a fantastic way of getting people involved in triathlon and almost feeling like you have completed a triathlon, because essentially you have, which is fantastic. And, you know, stepping up
just
to...
a bit longer than the 17-hour cut-off you normally have in an Ironman.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Okay, it's time for caption competition, and last week we had this picture from the ITU World Cup down in Cape Town of a seal that had got a little bit lost onto the blue carpet, and we've had some really funny captions. It's really great, imaginative ones.
This week.
Yeah, we've had to whittle it down. We've got 2 runners up and then our winner. Go on, take it away, Mark.
So we have Stig of the Dump said, "This guy has the swim sealed."
Yep, good
classic.
one. Another one along the similar lines there from Joel Klingenberg says, TYR's new wetsuit really seals out the water.
Very good. Or Tier, if you're from America, I don't know. I'm just covering my backs after the Nike thing.
I think we're covered.
Just saying. Craig Orrell, who is the winner, said, the seal is saying, "Do you dress like that for a porpoise?" I love it.
Purpose, in case it's lost in translation for any languages there.
So yeah, you are the winner. Please do get in touch and we'll send you a GTN swim cap your way.
We certainly will.
But now for this week's caption photo, and this is from the Super League Triathlon over in Singapore this weekend. The guys are obviously doing their training the days leading up to the event, and this is Ben Canute in a swimming pool with a glass side. And obviously the perspective has got a little bit.
I never quite got science at school with how light bends, but I still can't work out how light could bend that much to remove his head.
Well, there's something going on really wrong with Ben.
It's like some special magic trick, isn't it?
Well, please do get involved in the comment section below and leave your best captions.
It's now time for race news, and it was an action-packed weekend over in Singapore as the Super League season came to a close with the final championship, and there was all to play for. On the women's side, they started off on the Saturday with the Eliminator, and Katie Seferez was the one to beat overall, but also obviously a title each day, and she was pushed to the limit by Cassandra Bergran and Ashley Gentle in that Eliminator, but she took the lead on Saturday. But then Sunday it came down to the Enduro, and that was so close it actually became a photo finish between Cassandra Bogrand and Katie Zaferes. So the final results were for the women's enduro final standings. It was Cassandra Bogrand of France who took the title, Katie Zaferes second and Rachel Klammer third. But then the final standings for the whole weekend, it was Cassandra Bogrand who took the title there, Katie Zaferes second and Rachel Klammer third. But the overall champion of the Super League series was Katie Zaferes. She went in with quite a large margin and was pretty much going to be impossible to beat. So she maintained that overall title. Rachel Klammer finished second, and then it was Cassandra Bogrand who actually managed to finish third in the overall standings, even though she only competed in Jersey and then Singapore, missed out Malta and Mallorca. So an impressive performance by the French woman there. But on the men's side, it was actually looking a much closer competition going into this weekend. But it was Vincent Louis who went in with the advantage into the final leg in Singapore, but a much smaller margin than Katie Zaferes, and it turned out it all went a bit disastrously wrong on Saturday for him as he had a blowout on the bike, making it suddenly a very open and tough competition. Henry Schoeman saw this opportunity to maybe get that championship title and raced incredibly hard, but it was a return to strong form by Johnny Brownlee, who took the win on Saturday in the Eliminator. But Vincent Louis was back for the enduro race on Sunday, and he knew the pressure was on him, and he did perform. He took that title of the enduro, but was chased right the way to the end. It was Johnny Brownlee who finished second on that race and Henry Schoeman third, which then meant for the Super League standings itself for Singapore for this weekend, Johnny Brownlee actually took the weekend's title, then Henry Schoeman was second and Tyler Michelhook was third. Obviously Vincent Louis not competing on both days, didn't get a place on the podium for the Singapore weekend. However, in the championship, he did manage to maintain that title. So Vincent Louis won the championship, the overall standings. Henry Schoeman was second and Johnny Brownlee was third. Hopefully that does make sense. There was a huge amount of racing, but with that championship title up for grabs as well, that has sealed the end of the Super League season. But it actually all starts again in Bali at the end of March, and the top 10 athletes at the end of this series in both the men's and the women's will have automatic qualification for next year. Over in South Africa, it was the Xterra South African Championships, and it was dominated by the South Africans. Bradley Weiss, the 2017 world champion in Xterra, came back in strong form to claim his third title in this race. He led from the start and ended up winning by a total of 4 minutes, ahead of his countryman Cameron McNair, and then in third place it was Michael Ferreira. On the women's side, it was the first ever win in South Africa for Hayley Preen in front of a home crowd. She won by an astonishing 10 minutes ahead of teammate Vicky van der Merwe, and in third place it was Johandri Lester. Well, sticking with the Southern Hemisphere, moving to Australia, it was the Big Husky Triathlon, one of the more iconic long course races in Australia, and it was won for the 6th time by Craig Alexander. In second place, it was Levi Maxwell in the men's race, and then Mitchell Cunningham third. Over in the women's race, that was won by Kate Balivicois. Second was Holly Grice, and in third place, it was Laura Dennis.
Well, now time to look through some of the photos that you have sent in. And we're going to start with a great one because this is in from Abby. She hasn't told us much more, but this is her pain cave at university. And we're guessing in the UK, given the British flag up on the side there. But I don't know about you, but this looks remarkably similar to my university halls.
I think all university halls are the same, aren't they? You get that tiny single bed, wardrobe, and just a little bit of light coming from the window.
Now, I wonder how many bikes she's trying to store in a room, because if it was like me, I had about 3 or 4 bikes in my room. The university, we weren't allowed to have bikes in our room, and I'm sure they would have kicked off if they found out. And actually, one time I had a tubular tyre burst when I was in bed going to sleep, so that was an alarming thing to wake up to, and in such a small space. My ears were ringing for days.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that I hadn't actually taken up triathlon at that stage, because, I mean, trying to fit bikes in that room, there's not much room for anything else, is there?
Yeah, well, now moving on, we have this one sent in by Morton, and they've got 2 quite unusual bikes here I've not heard of either. We've got a Universal and a SEO Rebel SH105 carbon bike. So they're from Denmark. And this is a real pain cave.
This is what you call like an actual pain cave, isn't it? It looks very cave-like with the raw walls, and I quite like the minimalist look.
Yeah, Really
So
nice.
kind
And
of
they
no
said-
distraction from your training when you're down there. You are there to do one thing.
And they said they've got a home trainer that is bought at a flea market for £28 British.
Yeah, I don't know if they popped
but
over
it
to
worked.
Britain to buy it. I'm not sure.
But they say it works, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, now moving on to our last one. This is sent in by Neville, and this is from Swansea.
Yeah, Neville says our very own Swift
Quite like
Palace.
Swansea, by the way.
Are you a fan? Yeah, I was going to say.
I shouted it.
All right, missed that one. And now our very own Zwift Palace, where we do all our training. Surprise, surprise for Ironman Wales this year. That's in September, I think, isn't it? Ironman Wales. Be Awesome Tri Group. The Be Awesome Tri Group, along with the Celtic Tri Club.
Very cool. And yeah, quite a setup there. The 2 screens and
2 fans, some
Wow.
dumbbells as well.
I like the Canyon bike. Good choice there. Well, yeah, please do keep sending in your photos. We love looking through them. Please do keep the pain caves coming in. But of course, if you're doing loads of swimming at the moment, you're running, or as we were mentioning last week, we'd love to start having a look at some of these transitions. So do send in some videos of you doing a T1, whipping that wetsuit off as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we want to see those. Well, we are bang smack in the middle of Run Week, hence why we've talked quite a lot about running in this show and a little bit about beer. Well, that wraps it up for today, but it's still plenty more running content to come, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and if you liked today's show, please do hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more from GTN and you want to see all those videos from Run Week, please click on the globe and you'll subscribe to the channel. And yesterday we had a very exciting video going out. It was our 1,000 calorie presenter challenge. And if that intrigues you, then you can see that by just clicking down here.
And if you want to have a little recap on some of the other running content we've made, plus what else is to come this week, we made a run teaser video and you can find that just here